Yes, people, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. Time for a transfer speculation show. You can jazz it up all you like. We're talking about transfer rumours. Hope you are all well. I'm joined by a special guest tonight. Special, yes.
I don't know if I'd go. You are joined by a person. Hello, it is me, man. You know what I mean?
I'm joined by Charlie from us chat. You right, mate?
I'm alright. I want you to know, I've just eaten a bag of Walker Square's salt and vinegar.
Oh,
and so I'll tell you what, I'm ready, Jane. I'm ready.
That's good. That's good. I like the salt and vinegar pick. That's good.
Thank you. Do you know what? Surprisingly controversial to some people. Some people not keen on the salt and vinegar. I love it. I can't lie. But that's not why we're not here to discuss salt and vinegar, right? We're here to discuss other topics that are maybe controversial. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll get into that in just a second. Let's see who we have tonight. Shaggy, hope you well. Lingard, sick and tired of hearing his name. Well, yeah, but it keeps coming up on Twitter, so there's nothing else to talk about. So you've just got to keep recycling the news.
Look forward to tomorrow's video on Hammer's chat.
Sharky says Moyes needs to move on from him. He probably does, but I think somehow he's got an attachment to him and he just won't let go. We'll get onto that in a minute though. Peter, I hope you're well. Are you known by the name of Thumbnail Master by the looks of it?
Listen, I'll take it. It's one of the things I do, so I'll take it. It's me, Photoshop all day, all night, practically, just
all day, all night.
Yeah.
It's Danny DeVito featuring Charlie.
Here he is. He's excited, isn't he? Look at him.
Still got his West Ham shirt on that.
Yeah, I haven't taken it off since the season ended. I can't lie to you. It's just been on in the corner, so but he's ready.
Fair enough. Sharky said just had a pizza. I had a pizza tonight. Very controversially took the pepperoni off. Get rid of the pepperoni.
Okay, hang on. Rewind. I don't mind you taking the pepperoni off, but why have a pepperoni pizza in the first place if you're just going to take the pepperoni off? Surely you just get a margarita at that point.
Because Mum likes pepperoni, so he has so she has pepperoni.
Okay.
So we have a mix. So one week we have margarita, the next we have pepperoni.
Okay. Is this a Domino's situation? Because you get half and half, or is this just like you're getting one from like Tesco?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, you're not getting half and half from Tesco. Okay, the prosecution rests its case. Fair, not guilty.
Martin says Golden Sullivan interfering with transfers if reports are led to believe this won't end well. Yes. Oh, for goodness sake, what's this guy doing here? See the thing is, he never comments on my shows, and then all of a sudden he turns up when you do.
And he always says that I always turn up when he's on shows out of nowhere, and yet.
Maybe you two are like magnets.
Destined to do this forever. You know
forever,
what I mean?
Indeed.
Star-crossed the lovers, except I don't love him. I hate him. So star-crossed haters, I guess.
Yeah. Peter says go in for Keane, Lewis, Potter instead of messing about with Danjuma and Lingard. Gary says, how long till we kick off the friendlies? We need them in before then. It's a couple of weeks, I think, and it started middle of July. I think they start rolling just before. What psychopath doesn't eat pepperoni? Me. So yeah, have that. Peter says just one of those roast chicken dinners that I found in the freezer. It was 2.5 years out of date, but tasted lovely. But anyway, right, we've had 4 minutes talking about food transfers. So when I did my video this morning at about 7:55, Danjuma looked like it was all going fine. And then I get home from school, and then we've had Fabrizio, we've had everybody else pretty much say, yeah, that's old news. Pretty much. Charlie, what do you make of it?
Yeah. I woke up and it was off. So that was fun. I went to bed, everyone was getting hyped about it. I wake up and it was off. I'm disappointed. I can't say, look, I'm not someone who's going to sit here and talk about him in depth. I've obviously seen him play a couple of times, but I'm not gonna. I've seen him play a couple of times for Villarreal, and I've seen him play for Bournemouth, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I know a player in and out, so I'm really hyped about it. But it did excite me because he was one of the most exciting players in La Liga last season. His numbers were really good, and the conversation keeps happening about we need a Jared Bowen on the left, essentially, and that's what he is. His speed, his directness, everything about it, his tendency to play on the last man, it was very, very, very Jared Bowen-esque. And so it was really exciting to see us going, actually, because I thought when Aguerd had happened, that would be our most expensive signing. I would have thought everything else from there would be sort of max in the 15 to 20 range, really, but probably a lot less than that. And we're sort of making smart signings here and there, which is fine. I'm totally okay with that. But then we were like, out of nowhere, like, wow, we're going for this. We're paying for this guy. We're doing it. And I'm disappointed, but if anything, I'm probably more disappointed with the reported reason we've pulled out. That's like, okay, we're back to this again. All right, fine.
Yeah. Yeah, just before we touch on that, I think we signed Aguerd, whatever his name is, for about 30 million, and then we were like, well, yeah, we went back to the mentality like, yep, that's the 30 million pound done. We'll then go and spend 20 million pound on a player, here and there. But I think it's kind of put that to bed now that we are actually, or whoever made the decision to go in for Danjuma. But I think on a whole, from who we're being linked with, whether they're true or not, it's more not adventurous, probably isn't the right word, but more whatever type of
I think
players
adventurous is a fine way of doing it. I think if you look at it, right, for years, obviously the last 2 years or so, we keep getting told League 1 Championship, like non-stop, just League 1 Championship. Who are we in for? Hugo, thank you. And then, like, who are we into? Keenan's Potter. Who are we into? This person from League 1. Who are we into? This person from Championship, right? And so all of a sudden for us to go, actually, here's this guy from La Liga that we're super interested in. It isn't very us. And I feel like adventurous is probably a way of doing it, going, here's someone who has been and will be after this linked with, frankly, bigger clubs than us. And we're going, no, we're going to give this a shot. And it's happened with a couple of other transfers as well recently. But just that idea of doing it, I do think adventurous is maybe a fine way of putting it. It seems like we're maybe accepting the fact that we've been in Europe 2 years in a row now to try and maybe go for a slightly different class of people as opposed to just not knocking the Championship, but you're not going to see Barcelona going after someone from the Championship, are you? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's brought good times, as if like signing Jordan Hugill.
Great times.
Great
the best
times.
Of times.
The best. But we look at it. I think it was the turning point. Was probably the end of the January transfer window. Even though we didn't sign anybody, all of a sudden we had 3 days of like, oh, who's this Darwin Núñez geezer? Rafinha, Phillips, who's this? And then what is it? 5 months later, Núñez has signed for Liverpool for 80 million quid or whatever it is. So I think then we were a bit unlucky with it. Phillips has now gone to Man City pretty much, and this and that and the other. And we're now going in for these players like Danjuma, which we'll get on to who likes him and who doesn't in a minute. But I do think it's a step in the right direction in terms of a strategy, whether it's Golden Sullivan, whether it's Newman, whether it's Moyes, Warburton, whoever's taken this kind of new road and new approach into it. I kind of like it.
Yeah, same. And I think it is probably all of them to some extent, because I think it would be easy, I think, to point a figure at Newman, for example, because he's the new guy who should be doing this stuff. But at the same time, we know Sullivan loves doing everything. We know Moyes wants to be very in control of everything. And so it does take a little bit, even if it was just Newman, for example, it still requires both of those parties to relinquish a bit of control and go, actually, let's work together. And it's been really harmonious. Like, that's the thing that's crazy. Up until today, it's been really harmonious. Like, I think Gio made the point on a video today at some point. I don't know, these things blur in my head. But of like how the Aguerd thing, for example, went exactly how we sort of all expected it to go. And it was quite professionally done. Areola, the same. There was very little faff. It wasn't like this one where there has been a bit of there's been a lot of just like, right, we bid this much, we got that done. We know we have the clause on Areola. Let's just get the contract done. We sort of done. It's all been very professional and smooth. And so I think actually the whole sort of unit deserves praise because it's for once seems to be working relatively harmoniously, which is rare for us.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take some of these comments. Is Adam Frankel doing another quiz show? So no, because he got sacked from the last one he did, so nobody else is going to hire him, is he?
No
just had to say that. Let's scroll up. I had to get that comment out of the way first. Let's scroll up. When you're left back, we certainly do. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. are you getting fed up with Moyes? Because, you know, we'll talk about Lingard in a second, but he's holding on to that attachment with Lingard, it seems.
No. Do you know what? The Lingard thing, no. With the Danjuma thing, a little bit, but I don't really blame him necessarily. But with the Lingard thing, not really. I don't mind waiting on Lingard. My bigger problem with the Danjuma Lingard thing is they're not the same player, so I don't understand why it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Unless that's just where the finances are at, and we can only afford to pay one of those pay raises, then fair enough. Okay, wait for him, but not yet. But then again, I've always been frustrated with him for various reasons, so I'm probably in a slightly different position. But yeah, not yet. No, not for me.
Yeah, pineapple on pizza should be illegal.
I'm going to disagree with that one. Oh. I think it's all right. I think it's good. You know what I mean? A little bit of a Hawaiian ham and pineapple. I think you're having a grand old time. I think the people, you just get over it, bro. You know what I mean?
I think I've had it a couple of times. I mean, I haven't particularly disliked it. It's just, you know, it's just something extra on there. I prefer a bit of barbecue chicken on there, but you know, that's just me.
Oh, listen, it's not going to be my first choice. No. I'm not going to walk into the pizzeria and go, "Excuse me, Mr. Pizza Man, pineapple first." No, it's not my first choice, but I'm just saying. And what's weird about it, Jake, I don't like pineapple in any other context.
No,
the only context I like is on pizza. Anything else? Normal people eating pineapple on sticks with cheese? What are you talking about? No.
I tell you what, you can say anything about any player we're going to sign. That's the most controversial thing you'll say tonight.
You're not wrong. You're not
wrong. Let's scroll down. Gravy on chips. What is that about? Oh my God, KFC gravy on chips is where it's at. It is.
It's very northern, Jake. Very northern thing. And I'm not here to take shots for the north. As a representative of the capital, I'm not here to take shots at the north. I'm just saying it's a very northern thing. You know?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have, you know, just gravy out of the pot at home with chips. It's the KFC one.
Getting involved.
Yeah. No, it's not that. The specific taste of the gravy from KFC.
Do you know what? I've never had it. Maybe disgracefully, I've never had it. I've been told many times to, and I've never ventured into that realm. I'm getting sweet. I'm getting a bonus banquet, and the side I'm getting is either sweet corn or I'm getting baked beans. I never go for the gravy, and maybe more for me for that. Maybe more for me.
Baked beans. Oh,
God, get involved with the baked beans, bro.
Not on KFC.
Not you put it on the KFC. It's just inside. It's just involved. Yeah. I'm not getting a piece of chicken and dipping it in. Do you know what I mean? That's not what's going on here. I'm just saying.
Good. Peter says, I was starting to believe that David Moyes is the head of full control and of recruits again, but it's been proven not. It unfortunately looks like that. Will says, if we had won the Europa League, which we should have done in my opinion, that extra 50 to 100 million pounds guaranteed next season would we have been more aggressive in this transfer window? And you know what the Champions League clubs say? You've got the pull of the Champions League then, haven't you? You know, we win the Europa League, we get a lot more money, we're in the Champions League, people are like, oh, Champions League, I love a bit of that, you know.
Yeah, that is verbatim. That's from leaked conversation. Oh, Champions League, I'll have a bit of that. It is true though, because I remember I've said this story time and time again, but I just think it's so accurate. A couple of years ago, I can't remember, this was pre-pandemic, and I can't remember which journalist it is, but do you remember? It was around the time. Do you remember when there was that Sky Sports thing where they all just sat around a table and just had a go at David Sullivan for a while? It was great. I don't know if you remember that specific segment. It was excellent, right? But it was around that time. I remember a journalist saying, when you look at West Ham, the way they're run, and you look at specifically their training ground and stuff, the only reason a player would want to join there is because, sorry, I just got a notification, because they would overpay, because they would pay so much money. It's like, well, you'd go there for the money, right? I think that added benefit of having the lure of that sort of football means you don't have to pay as much. It seems it's a weird flip-flop, because it feels like you should have to pay more, but you don't, right? And I think potentially it's not just maybe we would be more ambitious. I think you might have also seen the likes of Lingard and Danjuma, for example, might have asked for lesser wages if we were in a Europa League. And it would have been
much simpler, you know?
Yeah. Not that, and that's not a diss against the Europa Conference League. I'm hyped. I'm really happy we're in it. But if we were in Europa League, and more so if we were in the Champions League, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, I think so. Peter says our squad is not capable of getting us top 7. Need to bring in players with 5 subs allowed next season. Better/bigger squads will pass us. And this is what I discussed on my video earlier about Danjuma before the new the new news broke is that, I mean, even if he's going to play second fiddle at the moment to Fornals over on that left hand side, that's a better player to have to bring off the bench. A player with pace, a player that's going to make things happen. This season, we've had nothing to come off the bench, really. You know, we've had Yarmolenko and Vlasic and nobody really else. I think it would, if we could get it done, it's just that bit extra, you know, squad depth to add to it, and it makes our bench look a bit better and makes options more broader. If we need to bring someone on with 20 minutes to go. Let's scroll down. Here we go. Good question, Sharky. Maybe one day sacked, I died. No.
Yeah, and when you came back to life, guess what? No rehiring. So therefore, sometimes you know what I mean? It's like when a CEO leaves by their own accord, but it's because there's no one there to sack them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just you got sacked.
Yeah, but the thing is that he went and he died and he had this tennis court moment, but then he came back and did another season of it, didn't he? After that, because...
Do you know what? You're actually right. That is very true. That is very true. Frankel chatting nonsense as per usual. You love to see it.
There we go. Robert says, do you know what? It seems Moyes is a typical man and can't multitask one player at a time. That's such a good point.
Yeah, maybe Sullivan was the one who was dealing with Danjuma, and that's why it went wrong. Whereas Moyes is concentrating on who knows how that's being delegated.
Yeah. Adam says, Charlie, how about a cheese and pineapple and a stick? I rate that, to be fair. I do.
No.
It is decent. It is decent.
You're getting the cocktail, the little cocktail sausages, the little you put that. Yes.
That.
You're showing me. No. Do you know what is underrated? Apple and cheese. Now, I'm not saying on a stick type situation, but you get an apple, chop it up into slices, get some cheddar, you know, from up the gorge. Good. You know, I'm telling you, man, it's a combo.
Very good. We here for food talk or football talk? If we want to talk about football, you know, we are, but we're also having a side of food talk as well.
Yeah, that's my fault. Sorry.
It's all right. Let's scroll down. See, but did we have 100 million in January, or is that just rubbish?
I don't believe we did. I was very vocal going into this summer that I felt like our budget was probably 50 to 60 million pounds. I don't believe this. Like, I think there should be more money available. And realistically, I think there probably is more money available, but it's one of those ones where I don't think there is a precise number. I think we start off with like say a 50 mil or whatever. And then if the right player like a Danjuma or whatever came along where everyone agreed, then maybe there would be a situation where they would pursue it more vehemently. But I don't think we have like 100 million this, that, and the other. If you want to play that game, we still haven't spent the Haller money. Do you know what I mean? It goes in circles like this forever, and I think you just don't have the. I just don't think we're going to have the money again. But we'll see.
Yeah. Usual suspect says only West Ham have this transfer nonsense season after season. Well, yeah, but if we don't, we lose the fun, don't we? You know,
it makes it more fluid. Do you know what I mean? Would you want a calm window? Do you know what I mean? I like getting my hopes dashed personally, Jake. That's what I live for. You know what I mean? Wake up in the morning, I think, oh my God, there's that galaxy in the fridge. No, girlfriend's eating it. Hopes dashed. Do you know what I mean? That's what I live for. That's what I live for.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Sharky says you're doing your watch-alongs next season, Charlie.
I am. I'll be boring the nation as per usual, Sharky. Don't worry about that.
Boring the nation? You mean boring the world?
Yeah, very true. Worldwide, like Pitbull.
Worldwide.
Like Pitbull himself. I am Mr. Worldwide with my come be bored with me. Get involved. Come on. I love it. I love it.
Trev Tube, hope you are well. Any Danjuma news? Right, let's get stuck into this then. So as far as we're aware, this was a kind of Sullivan, let's have a bit of this. And then Moyes has went, no, I'm not quite sure whether I want a bit of this. And Moyes is like, well, I've still got my man Lingard that I want. You know, he's wagging his finger, Lingard. But Sullivan's going, yeah, but this Danjuma, he's a right sort, he is.
He's a right sort.
Go on, Charlie.
Yeah, it's just frustrating that it seems to have gone from very good, very like it was all very positive to actually, no, we're waiting on Lingard and it's completely dead, like instantaneously. It was very, very quick. There were no sort of signs of there being any sort of discontent in the build-up. And I know we've seen situations before in the last couple of years when Moyes has been here in this round where essentially a deal has been close or there has been a lot of smoke, a lot of interest, and then the player gets presented to Moyes and Moyes goes, I'm not feeling it. And then it just stops dead. And I think that's the problem with having, to an extent, too many cooks. But I think the way we have got it right now is probably the right way of working, because I don't think I would trust any of the three individuals solely to sort it out. I don't think I trust any of them solely. So the fact they have to work together is good, but it does mean we'll see situations like this where Danjuma will just go from being, everything's going well, discussions are happening, it's all confident, it's going positive, and then bang, no, Moyes said, no, we're waiting on Lingard. Which again, as we've said, I don't understand. They're two different players. I don't really understand how one and I don't understand how they, maybe but I can't see how they fit together in a sense.
Yeah, I think it's, Sullivan is kept well out of the way of it for a good year or so, which has been good for us. He's stayed out the way and he's let Moyes do what Moyes wants to do. But I think he's come back from his holiday with his missus and he's went, right, let's get stuck into this, and he's looked at this Danjuma and he's went, right, we are prepared to pay £35 million, 40 million euros, whatever it is, for this guy. And to be fair, what it looks like is that Moyes isn't really having a say in it, because they were getting onto personal terms, and then personal terms can't be agreed because because we're staying set to the wages and whatever we want to give him, and he's like, no, I want a lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, that's my big concern, is that if the reason we've pulled out is because we're interested in Lingard and we can only afford to pay big wages to one person who's coming in, what does that mean for the rest of the signings we're going to try and sign? Especially if this rumored 5 more or whatever it is that Moyes wants this summer is true, then all of a sudden it puts into perspective what these people are going to be paid. And I think there is an argument potentially to be said that, look, if say both of them are wanting, I mean, I know 180k was the number put around for Lingard, which he's never going to get, but let's just, for sake of argument, let's just use that. You're not going to want to break your wage structure twice over in that sense. You don't want to break it that hard, because then, of course, Declan Rice will probably get paid more. A lot of players are probably going to get paid more because all of a sudden there is that space. But I really think these are things that maybe should have come up earlier. I don't see why it's come up this late in the day. That's the thing that's sort of weird to me. But look, ultimately, as much as, and people know, I'm very public about the fact I'm not super keen on Moyes, but the truth is that this window has to be 100% Moyes players. It just has to be. I don't really care who identifies them, who does the deals or anything, but Moyes has to have the final say, because I've got a feeling there are some players in recent years, Benrahma, potentially Vlasic, people who weren't super first choice for Moyes, let's say, and I feel like we need to give him the best tools to succeed, because that's, and if he sees Danjuma and he goes, no, then fair enough. We go and we find someone else. It at least shows that we're in a positive, spinning it positively. I think it at least shows that we are looking for someone on that left-hand side, which is something I think most people would have said we would need this summer. And it looks like we're looking in a market that we wouldn't usually in terms of prices and everything else. So that's a positive way of looking at it as well. It's just a shame it's not going to be this person who we've all had a couple of days to get quite excited about.
Yeah, because I think it's difficult, because yes, we need players through the door, but there's really not much point in signing players that Moyes doesn't want, because as you mentioned, Benrahma and Vlasic, it's good to have the bodies there, but then they're not much use if Moyes doesn't like them and want them and fancy them to play. This is the issue we've got to go with who Moyes wants, and however stubborn and frustrating it is, I am fearful that he's putting all of his attacking player eggs into the Lingard basket, which is fearing me. We'll talk about that now. Is the fact is that this is getting a bit stupid now, because X is being, and people are being asked pretty much daily, what's going on, and they're saying the same thing's going on. The contract's still on the table, and Lingard's still dilly-dallying his way around with and weighing up his options and all the buzzwords that people are saying that he's currently doing. You sign it or not, because we need to get a move on it.
From our perspective, I don't blame Lingard for waiting, because that's the smart move for him to do, because he's in an incredibly powerful position as a very talented player to get one last big contract essentially, and to get a move to a club that he can play at the highest level. Because realistically, he has to join a club he's going to start for, right? So obviously he's going to start for West Ham. He knows that's on the table, but I don't blame him for sitting and waiting and going, maybe a Champions League club will come in for me, this, that, and the other. Especially the later the window gets, and the more the options slim down, the bigger chance of someone coming in for a like of Jesse Lingard is going to happen. The problem is, from our perspective, is why are we? I don't think we should be waiting. Now, I think Moyes probably would wait, and all the rumors coming out seem to be that he is. But I feel like we should just be going out and finding our targets and getting them done, because waiting for someone who might not join is kind of a risky strat, especially if we're getting close with people like Danjuma and going, actually no, we're going to wait for Lingard. Then all of a sudden you're asking, it's just kind of wild. It just kind of doesn't really make much sense logistically. So it's one of those things. I feel like we are going to wait. I feel like Lingard's going to take. I feel like we won't know who Jesse Lingard signs for until late in the window.
Late in the day, because I think when it starts to motor and he does make his decision, I think if it is West Ham, it will get done relatively quickly, because all that we need to do is wages, medical, fancy video done, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, really, whoever, it'll probably be whoever does it quick. But the thing is, have you heard any rumors of anyone else being that into Lingard right now?
Not really. Not in the last couple of weeks. I mean, there was noise earlier of people that's into Milan and Newcastle, but nothing really lately. It seems to be a one-horse race.
So I think we're just going to have to wait, which is frustrating, because I don't know who it was in chat. I apologize for forgetting, but I'm very much the same. I cannot wait to not have to talk about this again. Like, it's going to be, and it's not even like I like Jesse Lingard. I would like Jesse Lingard at West Ham. That would be great. But I would really like not to have to talk about the idea of Jesse Lingard rejoining West Ham again. Oh my God. Not just from a talky talk standpoint, but the amount of different JPEGs and PNGs I have of that man on my computer, Jake, for thumbnails is insane. It's non-stop. It's so frustrating. So yeah, I would we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I don't think that one will be done anytime soon, depressingly.
Yeah, I think so. What I do is I just use the same picture and just recycle it, go onto it.
I should do that. I should do that. I get too techie with it. I should just do that. You're right. I just screw it. If the contract on that's changing, why should the picture? Do you know what I mean? Same JPEG. There we go. He's on again. There he is.
He's on again. Exactly. Right. Let's scroll up and take some of these comments then. So, imagine 11 Craig Dawson's on the pitch, or as Angela Bonner says, Big Craig Dawson. That was
what an accent that guy has now.
I know.
It's a beautiful thing.
It was beautiful. Gary says Newcastle will buy better players. We will struggle. Yeah, to be fair, Newcastle in for every player we've been linked with. Even by 90-minute football, they've been looking at it and going, let's go for him as well then, shall we? Even though 90-minute football has talked about it. But anyway, Pie Mash, good evening. Hope you're well. Can't believe West Ham are letting Perkins go. What do you make of that?
He just doesn't fit in Moyes' system. The truth is, Moyes is probably going to be here for 2 more years. He's not getting any game time. He doesn't fit in Moyes' system. He's probably at a chance now where he doesn't have a contract where he can go and get something he actually wants to do. I don't blame him. So I think he's talented. If Charlie Walsh is in charge, he's probably getting involved in some games. But if you look at the size of Antonio and you look at the size of Perkins, it's just not. I can't see him playing anytime soon, so I don't really blame him for doing it.
And as well, because David Moyes doesn't really favour the youth, and he's asking for wages that Moyes doesn't want. You know, wages is a big thing for David Moyes. It seems to be what's catching us up and stalling many deals that we do recently. It's all about the personal terms and the wages. But yeah. It is what it is, you know. It seems like it's pretty much done now. Pie Mash Kid says, let's go out and get Jesse, then go for Broja. We have so much quality in the side. Moyes has done wonders. He just needs to keep adding to it because it will go stale if we don't sign the right players, because yet again we'll burn out, you know. And it's It is what it is. Benrahma has had a season with us. If we keep him, I can see him being top draw this season. Yeah, see, what do you think he is? Well, I'm sure he isn't aware that we're being linked with like a Danjuma and a Lingard. That's still on the table. If we sign maybe one or two that aren't a striker, where do you think this leaves the likes of Benrahma, Vlasic, Lanzini?
Yeah, certainly in limbo. I mean, the thing is, certainly in limbo. I mean, we've got the reports that Lanzini's probably going to get a new contract. That seems more to protect value than it does because of the player he is, but that still means he's at least going to be some sort of assurance there. Vlasic, I feel like Vlasic probably feels like at this point right now that it doesn't matter whether Danjuma comes in or not, that it's sort of like he's on iffy ground anyway, links to clubs away and loan and all this other sort of stuff. I think Benrahma's the one who really seems to be like he could miss out, and probably the one who would want to leave, I would suspect. Because the thing is, if he's not given any sort of, I don't want to say assurances, because maybe that's a bit too OTT about it, but he had great numbers last year. And he's probably sitting there thinking, I'm being used sporadically, but I'm putting up great numbers. What am I meant to do to be able to get into this side more consistently? And from the perspective of him, I can imagine there would be some frustration. I think he seems like I never see anything of people going, oh, he's really frustrated, he's really angry, he's this, that, and the other, he's agitating for a move. I never see any of that. And I remember obviously when he joined us, he gave up his bonus to Brentford staff and all that to say thank you. He seems like someone who's a legit good guy, and so potentially there isn't any of that.
The only thing with it was when he snapped. Was it after the Newcastle game or something where he went, "Why always me?" after being subbed for the 300th time that season.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's actually the one. Yeah, I feel like we'll see what happens. I say that a lot because the thing is we've got such a small squad. The one place we don't, there's two positions really where we don't have practically three positions actually. We have a lot of right backs, we have a lot of centre backs, and then we have a lot of people who can play sort of in the central attacking mold. And if we are looking for someone like a Danjuma or what else, then that's probably where Benrahma's going to have his biggest chance of playing. I don't know. I think this season he probably just takes up the Yarmolenko mantle of being the first person coming off the bench, probably. And I would love that. I think he's a great player. I think he actually works in Moyes' system in that you want something a bit different off the bench. Bang, there's Benrahma. He's dropping bits. He's dropping, but I don't. It must be frustrating for him. Vlasic, I see, is probably on his. I don't think he's on his way out, but I think he's probably knows he's standing on shaky ground anyway. And Lanzini 100%. Seems to be getting a new contract, so that is what it is. And we know Moyes likes Lanzini, so
yeah, definitely. Chris, I hope you well. Dan says you're running scared. Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing a quiz against Dan, the Burnley fan, but I'm playing cricket on Monday night. I'm doing stuff.
All right.
I can't help that.
Man's hitting sixes, Leicester till I die. Busy, right? Busy. Spin balls and that.
Yeah, precisely. Charlie knows. Knows. Maybe not the six part of it, but yeah, we go with
LBW, you know what I mean? I know stuff. I know things.
He knows.
I know things.
Sharky says, do you think Moyes will buy left back? I personally don't. I hope he will. It will infuriate me if he doesn't, considering we're sat here dilly-dallying around attacking midfielders, even though we've got four of them. And we've got one left back who I'm afraid isn't good enough to start Premier League football. That's really starting to irritate me. But what we're in about left backs is starting to be a little bit more promising. But yeah, I hope we sign left back because that will annoy me if we don't. Let's scroll down. The kids could sit on the bench and not play. No change there. Let's scroll. Is Lingard Moyes' love child? P. Gad says the Lingard deal is done. He probably loves the drama and wants it to be a deadline day announcement. Oh dear.
That TikTok a bang, to be fair.
Yeah. Kent, hope you well. We must trust Moyes at the moment. We need 6 to 7 new players, the right players that must pass the reported David Moyes MOT, because otherwise he won't play players, and that's pointless and a waste. Yeah, I agree. He is a very stubborn manager, and he's only gonna play the players that he wants to play. He's only gonna sign within his powers the players he wants to sign.
I guess we're at the stage now where he can be a bit more picky. Give it a couple of weeks and we might have to start being a bit more, I I don't know, free with it, I guess. But at this point, I guess you can be a bit more picky. He might look at Danjuma and go, nah, well, maybe, but not entirely. And I think because we're still in that first couple of weeks of the window, we can allow it. But at some point, he does need to maybe relax if we want those sort of numbers in, because we seem to get like 3 players a season who maybe pass that test, and he wants 7 in a window, 6 in a window. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Ray, hope you well. Always moonlighting on other channels, Mr. Walsh. Is this like a secret operation away from everybody else, Charlie?
No, I put it on Twitter. I'm not embarrassed. Ray, what I would say is the guest for Two Spanners pulled out this week, so I had free time. Had free time.
Free time. Let's scroll down. If we don't get a striker in this window, I'd be ringing up Paolo.
I had do you know what? When I was younger, Jake, when I was like 10, I was obsessed with Paolo One Shot, and I still to this day don't entirely know why. I think it's just because he has such a cool name. But I thought he was the absolute don. And do you know what? I'd have him back in an instant. As a player, as a coach, I want him back. Bring back Paolo. You know what I mean? Recall One Shot.
John says, "What have I missed? Have you done Danjuma yet?" Yeah, we've just kind of discussed that Sullivan wants him and Moyes doesn't really want him. That's all on Sully Wheeler dealing. Moyes heard he is disruptive. He certainly is. Jake, when you're coming on Two Span as well, the Two Spanner secretary hasn't quite reached out yet. So,
Should I come Two Spanners next week?
Yeah,
because the guest for next week's pulled out as well. So you're more than welcome to if you want.
They're not Dominoes. They're all gone.
Honestly, I've had an absolute nightmare, Jake. I'm just going to say this very quickly for you and you alone. I messaged 15 different people, right? Because there was a bunch of people who were like, yeah, I'll be up for coming on. So I messaged 15 of them. Like 6 got back and 2 of them have already pulled out. And I'm like, So, we're up to next week.
We'll see. Where was I? There we go. eBay auction has massive argue price at £2.34. Wow.
Love that. Get a decent price. Sneak in, maybe. £2.35. Let's go.
Maybe, round it up a bit. You never know.
Do a bit of the old eBay sniping. Wait until deadline day. £2.35. Let's go.
Mike, hope you are. Evening, guys. Think with the amount of players we need, some are gonna have to be on freeze, but got to get on with it. Yeah, I think we might venture into that in a few weeks. If this isn't quite going our way. But we've got Paolo One Shot. He just has the muscles. His nickname is Mikel Antonio. One Shot was an enigma. I liked him though. Peter says, Moyes to walk if he doesn't get Lingard and Warburton takes over. Could you imagine the drama? I want my Lingard.
I want Jesse. Give me Jesse.
Give me Jesse. Looking forward to tomorrow night. Definitely, Mike. Definitely. 15 people. Do West Ham have that many fans?
You'd be surprised, Leicester, till I die. You'd be surprised. And they're all patrons on patreon.com/HammersChat.
Hey!
Come on. Buy the t-shirt. WestHammersChatStore.com. Let's go. You'd be surprised.
That's got you a bonus from Gio this month.
There we go. Thank you very much. Sorted with that. That was why I was here.
Peter says all the gossip regarding Sullivan and Moyes, but in David Moyes we must trust. He's a good manager and a gentleman, definitely. In terms of let's just talk about Broja quickly. It seems like we're in a bit of a sticky situation from what we know. We're going, can we have Broja? They're saying not yet, we want Rice. It's just
I think Broja's a good player. I'm going to preface everything I say with that. I think Broja is a good player. I don't know how consistent Broja is. Like, when I saw him last season, I saw him play some absolute barnstormers. And then I saw him play some, frankly, not very good games. And I was like, okay. And when we got linked to him again, I was like, okay, I would be interested for the right price. I'm looking at his stats. I'm looking at his numbers. And I'm like, they're not lighting me up. No assists. I was listening to let's just shout out everyone. I was listening to the Knees Up Mother Brown podcast the other day, and I can't remember if it was Cal or Jack who brought it up, but one of them brought up the fact that I think he's attempted in his entire senior career 6 through balls. And only one of them has succeeded. And I just don't know. I'm not that convinced by him at all. Now, for the right price, I would 100% take that chance, because the kid's obviously got bags of potential. I think physically he has a lot of the things David Moyes would probably enjoy in a striker. But I don't know. 30 million for me is just a little bit out of the question already. And that's apparently being rejected. So I don't know with the Broja one. It feels like, again, it feels like something that's not going to happen for a while, and it's something that we should move on for, because realistically, striker is one of the highest priorities. Even more than a left winger, I would put a striker as a bigger priority, because
100%.
we have one very injury prone guy. And so, yeah, I don't know. How do you feel? I think what's your this is what I like to do on Spanners. You've been on Spanners, so you probably have experienced this, right? I like to play a game where I ask what's the limit. I give people prices and we see what the limit is. Is 30 million? Would you go if Chelsea accepted it? Would 30 million for Broja? Would you go for that? What's your limit on Broja?
I like Broja probably a bit more than you do, by the sounds of it. I think he is. I think he is a very good player, and he has the potential. He's. My issue with his performances at Southampton last season is the trend I sort of got was when Southampton played well, he played well. When Southampton were crap, he was crap. I think he's. Listen, Southampton, they haven't got the best players. I mean, we didn't get more than 1 point off them last season, and they knocked us out the FA Cup, so we can't say too much. But they haven't got lots of quality in those areas around him. And I think all of a sudden, he looks to his right, he sees Bowen, he looks behind him, he sees Lanzini, he looks to the left, he sees maybe a Danjuma, for example. I think his eyes light up a bit more, and I think instantly he becomes a better player. He's somebody who knows where the goal is, and Mikel Antonio doesn't know where the goal is, I want a striker.
And yet somehow Antonio scored like almost twice as many goals as he did last year.
Oh,
I think Antonio got. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Without googling it, I think Broja got 6 and Antonio got 10.
Shall I have a look
in the Prem? Yeah, go on, have a little gander.
Let's have a
gander. While you do that, I'll say this: don't before you go to patreon.com/Champs, you should do. Obviously, subscribe to West Ham Unofficial, like the video, and hey, listen, if you enjoy what Jake does, which everyone should be. If you don't, why are you even here? Support the guy. You know what I mean? Get on that channel membership. Come on, people. Let's go. But then also check out Hammer's Chat after. Do you know what I mean? But before all that, subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. Also, while I'm full screen, Adam Frankel's not here. He's gone now. But just full. That's all that needs to be said.
Exactly. So Armando Broja scored 6 goals last season, out of 32 games in the FA Cup. 4 appearances, 1 goal. We all know who that goal was against. Lovely.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. You may have seen it.
You might
Charlie Wolf's watch along.
You might have seen me go. Oh, there it is.
There it is. And you might have been me sat on. Or if there was it 5,000 of us down there sat on or stood on a cold night on the south coast in March. But hey ho. To be fair, it's not like yeah, it's not like we were locked by the stadium for about an hour afterwards because everyone decided to have a puncher. Well, we got free chips afterwards, which was the highlight. So it was worth the wait. On a Wednesday night at about 11 o'clock, we needed the chips, and that was what we got.
Necessary.
They were lukewarm, but it was okay.
Out of 10?
It was okay. 6, but they were free, so 7.
Fair enough. Very fair. Very fair.
Yeah, precisely. Right. Mikel Antonio scored 10 goals last season. 3 more games. Yeah. To be fair, I suppose. The
obvious caveat is as well is that Broja spent a lot more time coming off the bench than Antonio did as well.
Yeah, and I think as well, you've got Mikel Antonio has got the Bowen around him and better players around him. I think at the age he is, what is he, Broja? 21, 20 years old. 21 in September. I think he's shown that he can do it in the Premier League. He hasn't been fantastic. He hasn't ripped up that many trees, but at the end of the day, he's done okay, and I think he could come in and suit us. David Moyes obviously likes him, but Chelsea are being annoying. Yeah, exactly. I remembered we had free chips. I remembered.
It's very important. I would remember that. And if any time someone gave me free chips, never had free chips, well upset. If Moyes likes him, then obviously that's fine. Even though I have reservations about the way he plays and everything else in this system specifically, listen, if Moyes likes him and thinks he can mold him, then yeah, go for it. Again, I've got issues about the price, but with a player like that, it's one of those ones where if he came in and absolutely nailed it, which he could do, then all of a sudden 30, 35, 40 million doesn't really seem that much. All of a sudden you're talking someone who could go for 60, 65, 70 million. That's the kind of thing we're seeing here. I have reservations. I don't know if I would want to buy Southampton's second choice striker for 40 million pounds, which is kind of what he was last season. But you can't act like there isn't a significant amount of upside and potential there if it went well. And realistically, maybe that's the sort of bets we should be making. I want to see us buy younger, more high potential players. I want to see us sort of becoming a club who play smart. Maybe that's the smart option.
Yeah, £20 million plus 5 million add-on sounds about the right price. But yeah, I think it's going to be unlikely unless Chelsea A, buy a striker, and B, we can just shut down the Declan Rice. We're saying Broja, they're saying Rice, and it's just not going anywhere. From what we're hearing, Embolo, isn't he linked again? Yeah. Embolo, I can't say I've ever watched him, I don't think, but yeah, heard his name a few times. Carlton Cole's in training. I mean, oh, come on, the boy Charlie just had the biggest light bulb moment. Somebody needs to take a screenshot of that moment where he realised Carlton Cole's on the back of that shirt.
There was probably a facial expression where the gears all of a sudden went ding.
Watkins would be good, yeah, but Moyes thinks he's too expensive, so Watkins won't be coming. Kent says Broja is 20 million plus add-ons to make it 25. Don't be fooled. Broja only looks that good because he had his 2 best games versus us. I think he's got potential. He did play very well against us, which probably sways some people's and maybe my opinion. I think he has the potential there, and I would be excited if he signs for West Ham. And to be fair, I'd be excited if he signed any striker. Yeah,
exactly. So it would just be an exciting moment in life.
Yeah. Let's scroll down. Mandy, hope you are. Hi everyone. Danjuma will be a huge gamble at 40 million. He certainly would be. Who knows? Is Adam Frankel really a West Ham fan? I don't know.
He's a mug, is what he is.
He hides in his Texas house with his 3 spare bedrooms and whatever else. So
his Man City top that he wore on stream for some weird reason.
City top, Hull City top, Ajax. Do you know when we went Chelsea away, he was wearing an Ajax shirt.
I heard this story. He's a donut prop. Listen, I might not be wearing a West Ham shirt, but I'm not wearing I'm not wearing another. Come on now. I'm not wearing another team shirt.
Absolutely ridiculous. He was quite smart about it by wearing a jumper on quite a hot day, which kind of disguised it slightly. But I saw it and I went, you're at a West Ham away day and you're wearing an Ajax shirt. But he was like, oh yeah, but it's the special edition. I don't care whether it's a special edition one. You're at an away day and you're wearing an Ajax shirt.
He's a donut, bruv. He's a donut. Donut.
Donut.
Don't know what you think sometimes, that boy.
Yeah. Luke, hope you are well. Peter Crouch come out of retirement. Callum Wilson. Any Neymar update? Yeah. £3 million plus 85 trillion pounds add-on, 700k a week. Here we go to West Ham United. Sullivan's been counting his pennies. It's done. Here we go. Neymar to the bowl. Wilson hates us. He scores against us every single time. Kent says I've wanted Watkins for 4 years. I had the deep cleaning detergent. I was like, I was just like, anyway.
Just get him out. He's just a wrong one.
It is.
There's certain
what's
people
going through your mind?
There's certain people you see in your life, and you get a vibe instantaneously of just wrong and energy.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
Use your brain.
There's a reason why I still have never met him in person, even though he's been in the country like 3 times at this point.
Yeah.
Lucas came across, saw him instantaneously. See the point. Franco, don't know about that. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? He said to me, I was playing Fall Guys with him 2 nights ago, Jake, right?
Yeah.
And he was telling me I should have watched Game of Thrones because I haven't seen Game of Thrones. And he goes, "Oh, when I get the DVDs back from someone else, I'll just send them to you so you can watch them." I ain't telling him my address. What kind of guy? He's gonna turn up at my door at some point. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah, I think I've seen him 4 times now.
I'm sorry.
The first time we saw him I saw him 2 times in 3 days. I saw him at Watford away on the 28th of December. Then I saw him again at Crystal Palace away on the 1st of January. Within 4 days, I saw him twice.
Just sad times, you know.
And then I saw him at Chelsea away. Oh dear.
See, and the fact you remember this shows that you've been mentally scarred by the experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Adam Frankel getting some deserved stick. Let's face it, West Ham have had the chance to take chances on players like Danjuma and don't then choke at paying the market price for the player once they've shown they have something about them. Yeah, I think, you know, we get into these positions and then stalling, you know. West Ham need no strikers, no one linked. Well, I prefer no one than Richarlison. I'm only joking. Broja is being linked, you know, we're getting all the links, but yeah, we need to get a move on. How much wages did they offer Danjuma? Scared another player will want to pay Rice. That's what it is. I don't think it's that. I just think Moyes isn't particularly warming to him, and whatever it is, you know, I don't know what wages he's on now, but he seems like a player with an attitude.
I don't think he's on that much. I mean, he was at technically a championship club before, and then went to Villarreal, who aren't the richest club in the world. So I can't tell you what his wages are off the top of my head. I see you having a little Google, see if you can find out. But I don't think, as far as I'm aware, it wouldn't be that much.
I can't actually find it because I thought it'd be on transfer market, but it's not. My
gut would say he's probably on around 60.
Yeah,
that would be my gut. But obviously, he moving to a Premier League club he's gonna want a lot more than that.
Yeah,
after the season he's had, he's going to want a lot more than that.
Yeah, Danjuma's on 30k a week. Here it says after going through the Villarreal salaries report, I know Danjuma's weekly wage is £25,000.
There you go. See, I told you it wouldn't be that much. I mean, he went from a championship, even less than I thought. He'd be on from a championship club to there. Nah, Villarreal aren't exactly a rich club.
No, they're not. No, 100% not. But in terms of left backs, then, so we were linked with this Owen Wijnaldum, who.
One more time.
Yeah. Owen, our mate Owen, yeah. Who was going to Ajax, then the personal term stalled, but now it's on, and here we go again. We have been linked with some, that Hickey, Realms, Zinchenko, this guy. I just want to see a left back, man.
Yeah, again, it's one of those positions that needs sorting out. Cresswell, I'm still happy with being involved with the team, but Masuaku obviously doesn't fit in any way, shape, or form. Maybe if we're playing 3 at the back, maybe he does, but even then, it's still not exactly a prime option you have there. So I think it's one of the positions where we need sort of. I think we'll get dealt with sooner rather than later, especially given Moyes likes to build from the back. We've got the centre back sorted for at least this season, although next summer, Dawson's out of contract, or Bonner's out of contract, Diop's out of contract if he's still here. So all of a sudden we've gone from 5 to 2 in the summer. So centre backs are going to be a bit mad next season. But if Moyes is looking to build from the back, you're looking at right side, just saying we've got Soufal, that's brilliant. We've got Zuma, we've got Aguerd, and then the left back all of a sudden looks like it needs a bit of work, you know.
100%.
I think that will get. I do think we'll sign a left back this summer. I don't know who, because none of them seem to be that. We don't seem to be too enamored or obsessed with any of them yet. You have Windau, you have Hickey, you have all of these names that you've just. We tried to get that Malassi or whatever his name is, the kid who's potentially going to Manchester United and all that. I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, it's a bit of a. It's something that I would suspect will happen this window. I just don't know who.
Yeah, I think so. People are saying would take. Shaw mentions in terms of strikers, Tony. I think the likes of Tony and Watkins were put on the too expensive list from David Moyes. That's what we heard. I think it's a little bit unrealistic. Oh, there we go. Hickey likes to leave his mark for.
Solid.
Solid. It is.
It's
solid.
just solid work. It's just good work, you know.
Yeah, it is. It is very good. The disabled team, hope you well. Good evening, Jake. Hi, good evening, everyone. Hi, Jake and Charlie. Hope you are well. Where were we? We don't need a striker, lads. All about the false nine, in my opinion, because that always works. Yeah, Pep Guardiola, David Moyes things, is where it's at. You know, just get it done.
I like the way we all call it a false nine. Really, what we're saying is we just don't have a striker.
Don't have a striker, yeah. And we just check anybody there we can find.
Like, I feel like Pep has some sort of idea of what's going on. I feel like we're just putting people up front who are just like, right, well, we've got no other options, so screw it.
Yeah. Where are we? There we are. I would take. I'll take Tony Cotter about now. I think we all would. just straight. You know, we are getting impatient and desperate already. And what are we? 3 weeks into this window, with the season starts on the 6th of August for us against Man City. They've got Haaland. We've got. To be confirmed.
Craig
Next
Dawson. Question, sir. Next question. 1-0 West Ham. Next question.
Bullet header. Craig Dawson.
No messing.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, you know, there's still plenty of time left, and don't want to get complacent, but there's no need to panic yet. We start panicking.
We start not panicking yet.
No. We start panicking.
I was going to say, don't get me wrong. I can see it on the horizon, but not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not far away. It's not far away. You know?
No, it's not far away. I'm seeing it coming over the hills. I can see it. It's far away. I was going to make a Monty Python joke, but that's so dated. I can see it coming over the hills, and it's in the distance. It's running towards me. Every time I look back, it's still running, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of date I've set is when I get back from my cruise. If we haven't done substantial business, I'm going to start panicking.
We're on a cruise, are we? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Only 2 weeks, so
only man of the ocean. All right. Okay.
Only
I've got all I've got planned this summer is flipping 5 days in the West Country, and you're going on a cruise.
Oh, 5 days in the West Country. There we go. Whereabouts?
Doing what is it? No, sorry, 6 days actually.
6 days.
6 days. 2 days in Bristol, and then making our way deeper into the Mendips to see family.
Deeper into the Mendips.
Yeah, we're going. We'll be hitting up all the high Wells Street, Glastonbury. We'll be hitting up all the big towns. You know what I mean?
30 minutes away, 25 minutes away.
Yeah, basically what's available by bus. I do have an aunt who lives in the middle of nowhere there, so she's gonna have to come and pick us up for that bit. But apart from that, wherever's available via bus, basically, we go up street, look at Clark's Village for a bit. Go to Sports Direct, get some shoes, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
It's gonna be a grand old time.
Morrison's Cafe in Wales does the business.
Oh, this is business. Since they shut down the cafe that used to be in the cloisters in the cathedral. You've got now. It's got to be the Morrison. You can't go anywhere else. Come on now.
It is the Morrisons. You come straight into Wales. Morrisons. Bing bang bosh. Here we go.
Maybe hit up Taunton when we're there. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah. He is a bit too close for comfort on the West Country tour. Charlie Bob.
Well, listen, you're going to be on a flipping cruise for 2 weeks. Don't worry about it. You're on a boat. You know what I mean? Captain, sailing, setting sea on the high seas.
Precisely.
Whereas I will be just a landlubber.
The AdSense revenue is going to be a bit down that month, but we'll have to go with it.
Fair, very fair.
Right then, thank you everybody for watching. Just before we go, you can find Charlie everywhere. Where?
Yeah, I'm sort of annoyingly everywhere. Do you know what I mean? The worst thing is, Jake, is I'm sort of on a semi-break at the moment. I've not been going on many channels because it's like, you asked me earlier today and I was like, yeah, do you know what? Now I've actually got the time, but I've been taking a break this summer and yet still somehow I'm everywhere. So you could find me on Twitter at atoplad or have a chat or anything. But to be honest with you, just watch a channel. I will probably turn up at some point. Subscribe to West Ham Unofficial and I will probably turn up some point, like the video, become a supporter. Come on now, people. Come on now, people.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Jake. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you can find Charlie there talking about football. You can find him here talking about wrestling there, this, there, that. He's multi-sport.
And everywhere talking about food.
Food, yes. How could
Always
I forget?
Food, never
Everywhere
not food.
Talking about food. Thanks everyone for watching. You can become a channel member of the channel by clicking the link. Members content is coming. You've got exclusive access to to ask questions to our former players coming on the channel very, very soon. Plural, maybe singular, I know. You can click that there, youtube.com/channel/a lot of things/join. You can, give Sharky. Let's see who our longest running members are. I think we're going Sharky, Luke, Wally. You can give them a run for their money. Get all your different badges in the live chat. Sharky, show them off. Be my showroom man, especially the Dawson one. Emphasis on the Dawson one.
Emphasis on Dawson. Come on now.
Indeed. Anything else you'd like to discuss before we go? I think I've taken up a lot of your time.
I just want to let everyone know. I feel like it's a window where it feels like it could be. It feels like it's going a bit Pete Tong and everything else. But I just want to remind everyone that no matter what happens, just remember that Frankel is the worst, and that no matter what happens, we could sit here and talk about Danjuma, this, that, the other. Just remember at all times to stay vigilant, okay? Because you might be sitting there all complacent, and then bang, Adam Frankel's in your life, and trust me, not what you want. What you want. So if you haven't already, be on red alert. Just be aware, because he's about at all times. If he goes Vegas all the time, he's in the UK sometimes, he's here, there, and everywhere. Adam Frankel, dodgy geezer.
Dodgy geezer. There we go. You can find out all of that. There we go. All of the emojis. There we go. Lewis Potter off to Brentford, isn't he? Yeah, there's that link. But hey ho, we'll have to see what happens. Good night, everybody. Always knew David Moyes never had full control over the incomings of players. Yeah, it seemed a little bit too good to be true. Who's the ex-player? West Ham are massive. See you on the 5th of July. But Charlie's thinking, who could that be? Don't say it, because I think
when is it?
5th of July.
Okay.
Charlie's going to be like,
Have a little think now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to subscribe and hit the bell notification to find out live, aren't I?
Exactly. 5th of July, 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. You can find Charlie here, there, and everywhere. Hammer's chat everywhere else. He does the odd video when Gio's occupied.
But yeah, basically. That's long short of it, really, isn't it? Let's be real about it.
And you can find his awards-winning watch-alongs over during the season.
Not yet. We'll get there. I'll win some award at some point.
Definitely.
Just someone who didn't stop. That goes to Charlie Walsh. Let's go.
Thanks, everybody. Drop a like and subscribe, become a channel member, and that is it from us. We'll catch you soon with some more transfer rumours. But yeah, thanks, everybody. Like and subscribe, and good night.